Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. So, I am doing an interview for HackerBits.com. You can find the link here, and that's what this video is about. Is I figured I'd answer a couple of the questions that I got from the interview. Is a written interview that you can check out at HackerBits.com, and I'd answer a couple of them in video format. I sort of answered them already in the written format, but I figured I could go into a little bit more detail since that's what I do here. Is I do videos and give you a little bit more in-depth information here. So I'm going to answer two questions here that I'm going to kind of combine. One of them is, what is the number one thing holding back programmers from taking things to the next level? What can we do to fix this? And what is something that's been working really well for you and your clients? So I would say that the number one thing that's holding back programmers from taking things to the next level is really mindset, right? This is something that really holds back people in general. But so many, and this is, my story was really about mindset as well, right? Because I was a software developer for like 15 years and I had a pretty successful career, but I didn't really start to see really huge advances in my career and my salary and the opportunities that came to me until I changed my mindset in a lot of ways. And so I started to really believe that I could do it, that I could actually, be, quote, a famous software developer, that I could write a book, or I could do tutorials, or I could teach people something, and started doing it. And when I started to believe that about myself, when I started to believe that I was just as good as these other people that were doing these things, and I could do it as long as I was willing to work hard enough to achieve it, then my life totally changed, right? Everything in my career changed. I started getting all these opportunities. I started blogging and writing and sharing, and all of a sudden, everything changed for me. And so I would say that really, for most software developers, the big thing is getting this ability or not necessarily an ability, but changing your mindset, changing it to realize that you are putting artificial limitations on yourself, right? You are not necessarily living to your full potential. There's a lot more that you can do. There's a lot more that you can achieve that you don't realize that is possible. For software developers in particular, I think a lot of developers are they feel like they have imposter syndrome. And you can check out actually a video I did on imposter syndrome here, but they feel like they're not worthy necessarily, and that they don't know a lot, that they're kind of faking it, and that's not necessarily true, right? I mean, it's possible, but for most of you that are watching this video, you have a high degree of skill in the technical field, in programming and software development, that most people don't have, and you have something to share. You have something that you can give, but you just have to realize it. And you have to realize you don't have to know all the answers. I don't know all the answers, but I'm going to share what I know, and I'm going to share it with conviction because I currently believe it to be true. And I could be proved wrong, and I'm willing to accept that I'm wrong. But as long as I believe it's true, I'm going to say it like it is true, because that's what's going to get people to have confidence in it, and they want to listen to someone who they feel like has the answers and knows what it is not afraid to speak what they think is accurate and what is true. And so I would say that if you're at a mid-level point in your career, even a junior point in your career, and you're trying to get to the next level, what you really got to do is change your mindset. It's not just just in your software development career. It can change your life in general, but you might have a lot of limiting beliefs that really put yourself into a box, right? So many of us think that we are just this. I used to think I am a shy person. I used to think I am not a physical and athletic person, that I'm a nerd, that I'm a dork. I used to think all these bad things about myself until I changed my mindset. And I said, well, wait a minute. Why would I need to be that? I could be whatever I want to be. So I'm going to choose to be what I want to be. And then I just became that, right? I started to pretend to be like I was already what I wanted to be. And then I eventually became that thing. And I'm still developing. I'm still refining that model. But now I have the vision. Now I know that whatever I want to be, I can become it. I just have to believe it and have to choose to be that. I don't have to limit myself. And the more that I can expand that mindset, the more success that I believe that I can achieve, and I know that you can achieve. So really, I would say that the biggest thing that you need to do is to learn how to do that. There's a lot of good books that can help you to do that. It's difficult because the world is so negative. Everyone wants to tell you what you can't do or why you're going to fail. You can't believe that. You have to go forward and do it anyway. You have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to fail with the lowercase f. What I call failing with a lowercase f, where you get back up and you keep going. You only fail with an uppercase f. You only really truly fail when you stop trying, when you give up, when you don't get up again, when you don't keep going, and when you see failure as a bad thing, when you don't see it as a learning experience. So there's so many of these kind of mindset things. This is why I created this channel. This is why I created these videos. This is why I created Simple Programmer, really, and have continued to do it, even though I don't need to run a business, that I could just retire and live on the beach. The reason why I continue to do it and continue to make these videos and continue to produce this content is because I want to shatter as many of these limiting beliefs as possible. I want to change your mindset because I believe that if I change your mindset, I'm going to change your life, because I believe strongly that if you have a belief in yourself that's greater than what it is now, that if you believe that you can actually do the things that you dreamed of, if you believe that there's nothing that's going to stop you, if you realize the truth of the freedom that you have, that you can basically do whatever you want at this moment in your life, whatever you choose to do, that there's no one controlling you, there's no limitations but the artificial ones that you place in yourself. If you realize that, there's a whole world that unlocks so much that you can accomplish and do. Now, it's not easy. It takes hard work. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take commitment. You're going to have to sometimes do things that you don't want to do, and you're going to have to keep doing them until you get the job done. But if you realize that you're going to succeed in the end, suddenly you feel a little bit more motivated. Suddenly you can connect the dots. Suddenly you can actually accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. So so that's it. And as far as like working with what's been working for me and for my clients, I read a lot. I think that is really important. I think reading, some people call them self-help books or self-development books, but inspiring stories from people that encourage you, that have expanded their own mindset, that don't place limitations on themselves, that share their success, that want to help you achieve success. That's important. Going out there and taking chances, taking risks, not being afraid to look like an idiot. I did this video a long time ago. This one's probably embarrassing. It's probably making me look like an idiot, but I did this video on don't be afraid to look like an idiot. And I truly believe that that's true. You got to go out there and you got to be willing to not care what other people think. Otherwise you're just going to let them place limitations on you and tell you who you are instead of you deciding what that is. So doing those things I've seen success personally in coaching developers. I've seen success with doing that, with having this practice, like continually learning, continually trying to expand and grow and do things that make you feel uncomfortable. Get out there and do the thing. Face your fears, conquer those things that don't feel comfortable, because that's what life is about, and that's how you expand those boundaries. That's how you lift those limits that you place on yourself, as you go out there and you do those things over and over again. The first time I shot a video, it was really uncomfortable. Sometimes it's still uncomfortable when I go out in public and shoot videos in the middle of the day and people are looking at the camera and they're thinking that it's funny that some guy's shooting a selfie in the park or whatever it is. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to keep on doing it. I'm going to keep on making myself feel uncomfortable, because that's how I'm going to grow. So anyway, that's my answer for this question. Probably not what you expected, but I believe we can fix this problem, and that's why, like I said, I've created Simple Programmer, I've created this channel, and I produce the kind of videos that I produce here. So if you came here from hackerbits.com, welcome. I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel, which you can do right here by clicking this big old subscribe button, and you'll get more videos like this. I also have about 500 or 600 videos in the back catalog. You can watch any of those videos. I've got a bunch of playlists for you if you're interested in going through the playlist and seeing, based on topic. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.